Alright guys, I'm going to give you a little rundown. I bought the Badland Winch remote control, and I installed it on my dump bed trailer, and I'm going to give you my take on how I got it installed. A couple things first. This is what the remote looks like. A little brown dude there. I haven't pulled the stickers off anyway. My out is going to be my up button, and my in is going to be my down button for the trailer bed to come down and up. Alright, first of all, let me say this. I've noticed that some people have pretty much the same pump on their dump beds. Mine is the carry-on trailer pump, the hydraulic pump and the motor assembly, and it has the two solenoids. You can see the solenoid, it has a tip on the top and one that does not. The one that does not have the tip is the up solenoid. There'll always be the up solenoid because there's no need to have a drain or a quick release or an easy release, emergency release for the up. So that one is going to be the down because it's got a valve on the top of it that you can unscrew easily if the dump bed's up, especially if it's loaded. If you unscrew it fast, dump bed's gonna go wham. It'll hit down fast. So you have to open it up real easy so that it'll get enough release for it to come down easy. All right, that's how you know which one is the up and which one's the down. All right. Now back to the winch. I cut the tip off of the Badland remote controller. This guy here, you see I got it mounted on the outside of the box, and it's real light. There's no reason to have anything real bad. It does not have an antenna, so I mounted the whole box on the outside. Now you got 4 wires when you cut the tip off. You got the yellow green wire, you got a black wire, you got a blue wire, and you got a brown wire. The yellow green wire is your hot wire. That goes directly to your hot side of your solenoid. That's the solenoid right there, and you can see that the red wire is connected to the hot side of the solenoid, which goes to the positive side of the battery. Okay, now the negative side on mine, I don't have a negative pole on my solenoid, so I grounded the negative side to the motor. That's the ground wire right here, and it's grounded to the motor right there on that bolt. Alright, so that gives me my battery power for the controller. Alright, now the blue and the brown wire. The blue wire is your down wire, and your brown wire is going to be your up wire. Now, I didn't go through the making the wiring harness for the motor to be running when it comes down to pull the bed down because I didn't think it was required. So what I did, now in order to do what I'm fixing to tell you, you have to disconnect the remote, the wired remote that comes with it. You cannot use the wired remote. That's very, very important because you'll short it out and burn something up if you leave it connected. Alright, so the brown wire, or the upside, I made a jumper. This jumper wire comes over and jumps to the positive side of the solenoid, and the brown wire goes to the solenoid, the up solenoid on the electric motor and the pump. So when I push the button, my out button on the remote, this one, now I got the valve open right now. So let me close my valve. Alright, that's up, down. Alright, and you're seeing now I'm using the gravity down, so I don't need the electric motor, and that helps save battery juice too. I also got me a little 1.5 watt charger. I'll show you that in a second. Alright, so now it's important to know that this black wire, or the wire that you add to the brown side of the remote controller, is the wire that's going to go to the positive side of the solenoid. And you can tell on mine I only have 1 pole. If you have 2, there should be a positive mark and a negative mark, and you want to choose the positive side. Alright, So now the reason I had to do it this way is because when you push this button, or when you push the button on the wired remote, it has a dual connection. That dual connection opens up that solenoid and engages the motor simultaneously. So, and it has to know which solenoid to activate when you push the up or the down button. If you push the up button, it activates this solenoid and the electric motor and pushes it up. If you activate the down button, it activates that solenoid and engages the motor so that it pull it back down. That's where I don't need the motor to pull it back down. All I need is the gravity feed to drop it. Now, the drop, if you pump it up, you can always control the drop by pushing the button. And as long as you got, the bed's going to come down because it's going to have a load, the load of the bed itself is going to pull it down. Alright, so that's pretty much my take on the Badland Winch remote controller on a dump bed. Alright, now if you guys got any questions, you can obviously post them in the comments, and I'll check them every now and then and try to answer any questions that you have. Now to the charger, like the other guy said, I got an internal battery charger, and I'll probably eventually take that out. It's a trickle charger, and you just plug it up into your house somewhere, and it trickle charges to keep the battery topped off. I'm probably never going to use that. Alright, so now I also bought this little doodad right here, which is a Harbor Freight 1.5 watt trickle charger solar panel. Now you can tell it's getting power and getting sun power because the blue light's flashing on mine. I don't know if you'll have one with a blue light or not. So right now I could hook up this to my battery, close the door, and it would charge my battery or top it off. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead, hook this puppy up. Now my problem is I'm so old, I have to remember that I plugged this thing up, and I'll need to unplug it before I take off somewhere. So there it is. That's the way it all is. Now, I did have a problem with my remote at the beginning. Some of these Chinese products, they, well, you know how it is. I'm not going to go into detail. But I had to open it up, had to take the cover off the back, and I used some electronic cleaner to clean the buttons because the buttons were shorting out. And I'm probably going to do it again here in a second just to make sure. But what was happening was when I push a button, the button would stick, and the bed kept on going up, so I had to disconnect power to it. Now, if you clean it out real good and make sure the switches are in good shape, then you won't have that problem. Like I said, you can tell it goes up. I could go all the way up, but I don't want to dump my excavator out the back of my trailer. And down. And there you go. Now, as a safety measure, if you don't trust the buttons, you can always open your valve. Let me do that. You can open this valve right here as a safety measure, so that going down the road the thing won't open up and dump what you got in the bed out. Now, if it engages, it won't do anything. See? And that's it. If you like the videos, like, subscribe, do all the other good stuff, and do whatever, you know how the routine is. Give me some comments and feedback. I appreciate all you watching. Have a good day.